Yeah.
Okay, how's everything going?
Good. Good. Got some interesting problems and stuff at work that are keeping me up at night in terms of just like my brain's going on full power trying to think of how to structure and solve things. So it's I guess it's a good thing because it means I'm engaged, right? But
How to structure and solve things,
just the problems, like this
like
problems we're trying to
model
solve.
it, like
Yeah,
using type.
modeling and yeah, modeling and then just on this latest one, what tools to use and how to structure things. So, um, yeah, when you wake up in the middle of the night, like we should do this.
You should do it in F#.
Yeah, I think I could get away with that probably, if I'm willing to be a teacher and learn at the same time. So.
Cool.
I think they're kind of. Oh, excuse me. I think they're kind of open to, as long as it solves the problem better than, is the best tool to solve the problem. Well, we'll find a way to put it together. So,
Regardless of people being knowledgeable that can maintain it.
I think so. I mean, they have people in there that are using Clojure for some stuff. There's some
Okay. So they're smart enough.
Yeah, there's some teams using Go and then some teams using C#. So, I think to maintain their kind of, I don't know if you really want to call it legacy. It's the revenue generating, the thing that they grew up with. That's all in .NET C#. So, that's still the same way. And I guess most of the talent is in that world, but that doesn't mean that they aren't open to other options. And F#, I mean, is probably the least friction in terms of going to something new. For if you do want to explore functional languages, or if you decide that's the way to go.
Cool. Well, anything else going on?
I'm going ice fishing this weekend, so I'm actually taking the day off. Though I might go to our stand-up. My brother-in-law rented a fish house on the lake, one of the bigger lakes here, and spend a couple nights there and try to catch some walleye. And otherwise probably drink too much, as the things normally go.
There you go.
I do some snowmobiling, but yeah, other than that, no.
Similar to you, I've been working feverishly on this passion project. It's the more I get done, the more infrastructure I discover I have to write. I want to go ahead and demo it to you since I can remember every single service that's required. I think this is enough, right? And sooner or later, I'll upload these services to Azure so I could stop running all these different instances locally. You still there?
Yeah. I was just thinking maybe you should put them all into Docker containers and then write a single Docker compose that'll throw them all together or whatever.
Yeah.
But then
if I knew how Docker works, I mean, I was just going to. So these are all like I mean, my services are like Azure functions. I just have
Oh
to
yeah.
manually run it on my local box because I haven't yet uploaded it to Azure to run. But once I do that, then yeah, it'll just be my mobile app solutions that are running, and my machine will be a lot freer of resources. But the reason why I've been holding off on doing it is because of just regression testing, debugging, and bulletproofing the code. Like I'm still making tweaks to it. I'm still optimizing it. And so I just want to catch every possible area that I can catch before things get complicated. Like it's easier for me to troubleshoot and debug when things are local. So I mean, I think it's hardened enough that probably by next week I'll upload it and just have my courier apps running on my laptop and the services running in Azure.
Mm-hmm.
But let me see if I could demo this for you. Now, still, even though, yeah, stuff like that. So even though the courier app is pretty persistent when you suspend the app or close the app and then launch the app again, it hydrates back to its state that it needs to be at. I still got to do the same thing for the customer app. So, all right. So let me make sure that I don't have any red stuff in here. Close that and then relaunch it. I'm going to relaunch my courier app too. So, of course, that breaks. And so, launch the courier service. I'm going to relaunch this delivery courier, bank card transactions running, launch this delivery request. Okay. Now I guess I could still talk as I'm doing all this. You know Odie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know him, but I know him.
Yeah, I've been trying to convince him to work on this with me. He said he would. He said he would be open to it, but I'm not sure how soon it's going to be before life hits him and then he drops it. I guess I'm not being optimistic, but I told him that I would give him like 20% of the fees collected if he wrote I call it a tenant web app. And so tenant, was it like multi-tenant is, that whole concept, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like the second stage where this this mobile delivery can be applied to anything, not just restaurants, but like, I don't know, mobile car washes and snow plowing, all that stuff. I told him that if he wrote the web app for that and the backend services so that these tenants or businesses can monitor their orders, monitor their couriers, and do other administrative stuff, generate reports, then if he could deliver the backend services in the web application for tenants to use, then I would give him like 20% of whatever whatever transactions that I collect through that side. So he said okay. I don't know. I'm not optimistic that that I explain the scope of work that it's going to take, and that if he actually has the time to invest, partnering. What am I missing? I'm missing the customer app, right? Okay.
I think it's just time for you to learn some web development.
I don't have time. I'll try to, if I do, I mean, I'll learn Blazor, but I really don't. I'll learn Blazor, but I don't have time because I'm trying to push this thing out so that it could fall on deaf ears and no one downloads it. But I have a very healthy portfolio, and I can specialize and charge $150 an hour as a Stripe API integrator and an Azure architect and a Twilio integrator and a Google Maps integrator. Like, at least I'll have that. Which one of this stuff failed? There's this courier service right here. All right, so event logs running, courier accounts running, courier services running, shopping carts running, bank card transactions running. This is the courier app right here. That's the delivery request, courier dispatch. All right, and so, all right, I'm almost there. So then for whatever reason with this customer app, I have to always rebuild the entire app. And I guess I should also make sure my stuff is clean. I thought my stuff is clean though. Hold on. We'll go over here, refresh. No, it's not clean. Orders, that's clean. Okay. So this is my event store. Okay. And once this completes, I'll demo you something that I've been promising to demo for I think 4 months now. And I'm still struggling with Azure bugs. So, I mean, I logged a bug a couple of days ago. And it's annoying because I spent 2 business days trying to figure out why my courier app wasn't reflecting service bus updates. And I tracked it to whenever I call disable for a service bus topic, somehow it just stops all topics from coming in. Even if I just specify one topic, it pretty much disables everything. So I just disable everything at the end. I don't know why this thing failed to process requests. Those transactions view right there. I want all my console windows to not have any reds, All right, and then my customer app. You should be ready. You should be green, so I can build you or run you. How much time has this taken? About 10 minutes. How far is your drive to the ice house?
I think it's about 40 minutes or 35 minutes or so. Town's just southeast of where I'm at, so but I gotta get my sleds all hooked up and get all my stuff packed, and I don't know. Gotta grab some food and whatever, but yeah, it's not too far away. There are some good fishing places that are north of here a few hours, but this is kind of the one in the area. Well, it used to be a bit better fishing lake, but it's kind of been ravaged. So they only let you keep so much. That's pretty cool.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Drum roll, please. I watch it crash. I still got to figure out if Xamarin provides some type of payment gateway. Like Chrome has your payment methods like saved in it, and so you just pick which credit card or debit card you want to use. But I need to figure out if Android offers the same type of experience. It should, right?
Well, I think Stripe should. I know in Braintree, which I've used before, and I assume Stripe has this too, there's a vault feature where you just say like, hey, store this credit card to the vault, and then you just track their reference to that credit card.
No, what I'm saying is if they've already been using their bank card with any apps on their device, like I'm curious if there's an API that I could tap into where it just exposes whatever payment methods, and then they select one, just like Google Chrome does.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm guessing that's just like on the web, it's a certain way to structure your fields, but here it's probably like, I don't know, it might be you might have to use a special tool or something. I don't know.
All right, so I'll order this stuff or I'm preparing to place my order for these items right here. It's an emulator, so apparently we're in like California or something. When I hit order, this should work. I think I have all my services in here.
You just need feedback to let you know.
Finding a courier. What's that?
You need some user feedback there to let them know that something was happening.
Yeah. I'm aware of that. Thanks.
Come on, courier. Oh, they found it. Something triggered.
That's new. I wonder what this is new. Question is, yeah, all my console windows are still straight.
Well, it wouldn't be a demo without a clear,
I'm going to get this demo done before we get off the phone. Let me clean the back end. Oh, hold up. Something's happening. Go back. Okay. Why the latency? I don't know. All right. So then accept. That's the bug I was talking about. Okay. This was a lot faster. Is it me streaming and having like 12 different services running that's making things so slow? All right, so I was expecting, so like this is very slow, but you see how my customer app just updated with the courier found, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like 30 seconds afterwards. And so then this should update to arrived. I'm just going to guess that everything is, everything is just hella slow. Things are like 10 times slower. So I check off that I arrived at Denny's and I'm picking up these items, and then I want to capture the receipt because that's the best term I could come up with for right now. I should say photo receipt. All right. So now that I captured the photo of it and that gets checked, right? I then say done. I hit done. It's going to update the customer app. Your order has been picked up going to your location. Okay. The courier app launches Google Maps and is going to tell the courier where to go to the drop-off location. Now it says add destination. The customer app says your order has arrived. Please make yourself visible. All right. And so then when I tap delivered, yep, I tap delivered. Delivered is what I tapped. You see this thing is doing some stuff. It's going to start disabling all the topics that I relied on because it's cleaning up everything. And so then we see rate John, who was the customer, right? And then I could say done on the customer app. Your order has been delivered. You're charged whatever, some bank card. You can say rate delivery. Rate delivery. This button stopped working, but if you notice on the courier app, it now has one delivery. How do I close this keyboard? What's this over here? I don't know how to close this keyboard. This is the smoothest running demo ever. Okay, so if I click on this, is it going to respond? Or is everything hosed?
Got to run all that stuff in not in debug mode. That might help too.
I think a huge part of it is I have all these services on my machine, and I have these solutions that are like 35, 36 projects a piece between the courier app for both the courier app and the customer app. So now I'm killing the courier app, but I'm gonna launch it again, and then I'm gonna show you the report of one delivery and $6 made commission. So right now it doesn't look like it's going to respond. I'm going to go ahead and kill the customer app, and for the courier app, I'm just going to hit relaunch. Have you messed around with Azure Functions or anything like that?
No. I'll probably be getting into some lambdas here shortly, AWS lambdas. But I haven't done anything with.
What's your philosophy of when you're building out like back-end services, and like I would assume that you just run it locally on your laptop via local host? Like, at what point do you develop confidence that the back end is solid enough and you don't really have to worry about debugging the back end? So you just go ahead and publish it. And now you can just focus on the front end, calling back end services. And you, I guess, at what point do you have enough confidence that you can publish a service, even if it's just in QA, on a QA environment?
Well, I guess if if I test the use cases that I'm concerned about and edge cases, and I've buttoned them up, and there's nothing breaking, then that's usually the cue for me to give it a go. I guess,
Nothing.
yeah, I don't know. Um,
You don't run those services for like a couple days and see if there's any memory leaks or anything like that.
no, generally not. The likely, well, I mean, memory leaks are likely or possible, obviously in .NET, but the likelihood of them is pretty low.
No.
All things considered, assuming you just follow standard patterns and
Mm.
understand how memory is managed.
Well, like I have a habit of not always knowing that something implements iDisposable. And so instead of wrapping it in a using construct, um, if I don't know that it implements iDisposable, I just never dispose the resource, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. I suppose just assume that anything that has I/O at all is going to have some sort of iDisposable. Not everything does, but just if you switch your mindset to assume that always, you're
yeah.
probably safer. Although there's stuff like like HTTP client or whatever that in .NET world that you don't actually want to dispose of those things, but because they're managed separately, and you want to keep them alive longer. But yeah, I don't know. Um, isn't there a static analysis you can run on your code though to tell you if you're not using on an iDisposable?
In F sharp?
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. Maybe.
All right. So like now I'm clicking on the one delivery that it reported. And ta-da! It's of course I got to figure out how to map this time to the time on the actual device. But the filters of day, week, month. I know if I click on year, it's going to crash. But one delivered, zero cancellations. That's the reports. This right here, um, I'm I'm curious if this is intuitive to you. What do you think this means?
Available $99. Uh, I guess if I'm looking at transactions, I would guess that's how much money I have available to me.
All right, good.
Like how much like money I've made, but it's probably what's on the card. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So my intent was that this is the amount of money that you can cash out.
Okay, yeah, so
And
it's
so,
my yeah, it's my cut of the proceeds or whatever.
all right. So it's not too what's the word I'm looking for? Non intuitive, unintuitive, or is it?
Available is kind of a I guess that's a confusing is because I could also assume available means that I'm available. I don't really know. Available doesn't seem quite right there. Um, yeah. And then having the total on a button. Is the button supposed to do something? I wouldn't know what it would do. I'm guessing it would cash out, but
Yeah,
because I'm sitting here thinking about it.
yeah. This is me not being a UX designer and wanting to get this thing done. But
Well, why don't you just make instead of having a label there, couldn't you just yeah. Oh yeah, cash out is what I was gonna say. Just make it one big button that says cash out $99 or whatever, but um cash
what I
out.
had what I had
Sorry.
ran into was for me when I looked at this, to me it looked like it was a tab or something. Like I was trying to click this for whatever reason because it doesn't look like I don't know, it did look like a tab control.
Yeah.
So
No, I see what you're saying there because I get the same vibe. Like I said, if you just made that button um the width of the screen and then just put the label on the button with the dollar amount, you know,
okay,
cash out $99. and it's just one big button, I would know exactly what it's trying to do or what you would do. And it wouldn't be confusing whatsoever to me anyways. But then again, I'm just it's my idea, so it
Yeah.
could be
Well, like I
confusing.
said,
But I think it would be fairly clear to a two user if you had one big button there that was green that said cash out $99, and it wasn't underlined because that's annoying as all get up.
you don't like the underline under 99?
Underlines, no, I hate underlines. Like unless it's a link, I guess. But
Okay.
they're like so like underlined in web speak because it's used for linked is a signifier for that this does a linking action. So then it would look like you've got like a link inside of a thing, but you're already in a button. So it's just the like one of those things where I'd get an itch looking at it, being like, ugh, this is not great. Um, but then I sweat the details. So when it comes to UI,
Yeah, so that's my demo that took half an hour to execute.
hey, next time it'll probably only take like 15 minutes then, and then after that it'll be shorter and shorter. I think once you get stuff out in the cloud or whatever, and you're
yeah.
yeah,
When
you're
I
not
did a
billion.
when I did a dry run, I mean, it went by fast. It's not until I started streaming and then got you on here that it like just felt buggy and slowish. I mean, it's always felt buggy, but it was pretty fast when I did a dry run.
Yeah, it could be that it's. I mean, maybe it's possible that it's because you're streaming. I don't know. Um, I've had weird issues where I try to demo something, and if I'm on Zoom, it's extremely slow. But otherwise, it's normally just fine. Or I mean, it's tolerable. So I don't know if maybe there's bandwidth usage or what.
I wonder if this is going to do anything useful. Oh, I'm supposed to make this whole thing green, right? How does this work? Okay, I'll archive this for when I get off. My brain hurts. Stop screen. How do I? Does it stop sharing?
Yeah,
Hey, Roman, how are you?
looks like you had a meeting to go to.
So, yeah, so far I got at a high level, an end-to-end user experience between the customer and the courier working at a high level. Now I just got to focus on the cash out part, which I wrote the back end for. I just got to wire it up to the client. And I got to make sure that there's state persistence so that when you suspend the app, close the app, reopen it, that the state hydrates to what it needs to be. Because that's going to totally happen.
Oh yeah.
For both the courier and the customer. Yeah, like I mean, I've been working a lot more hours trying to get this thing to an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I haven't talked to you in a while. In regards to marketing, I'm losing so much money on the Dow Jones and NASDAQ exchange that I was considering like buying a boat, but F that. Like these last 2 weeks, it killed my boat money. So I was thinking about like targeting these food truck entrepreneurs, and there's a lot of them out here in Miami, and offer to put their menus on the app and they would need to hit the beach and pass out flyers. So basically, my issue is this: how do people know that they can have food delivered to them on the beach? And I was going to the only effective way, maybe not cost effective, but time effective way of doing that was getting a boat and strapping either a large LCD screen on it, which is hella money, or strapping a large banner on it. But a boat's expensive. Even if I rent it, that's expensive. And I'll become a legal target of the authorities, which I'm going to be a target of the authorities regardless. But then the other one was like, okay, well, how do I if there's 30,000 people on the beach from a Thursday to a Sunday within a 4 mile stretch, besides docking a boat or cruising a boat up the shoreline, so everybody knows that they have that option available to have food brought to them. Maybe what I really need is I need some foot soldiers to tell them, right? If I'm not going to do the boat thing, but hell, man, I'm not trying to pay some crackheads to walk around with flyers, and they probably spend the first 5 minutes talking to people, handing out flyers, and they'll throw the flyers away, and I won't even know. So I'm okay, maybe if I incentivize these food truck entrepreneurs and maybe these restaurants that are close by, then maybe they can do the marketing for me, because they're the ones that would be making money. And if they can increase their business by probably 10-20% by just people on the beach, then why wouldn't they market their business so that they can go ahead and get that? Logically, that makes sense to me. I just gotta buy a suit, make sure I look very clean and serious, and then hit these venues to try to convince them. I'll stop right
there. No, I think targeting food trucks is a really good idea. Just because it might be a market that's not cornered. I don't know. Can you Grubhub, Uber Eats, Food Dudes, whatever? Can you do that, or DoorDash? Can you do that from any food truck? Is there any of them doing it? Can you open your app right now and go, oh yeah, I want to grab from this food truck taco?
I don't know. And I purposely don't install that stuff on my phone because I'm scared because I know I'll end up using it out of convenience of being lazy. So I never installed those apps because I know I'm going to blow my money on it.
But you could go to their websites too and just look to see what restaurants are in the area. But if it's all brick and mortar and no food trucks, there might be food trucks. I mean, part of the idea is that they're mobile a bit and that you can get to it. But I'm sure people on the beach, they still got to walk to the parking lot or whatever where these food trucks are.
There's these food, because it's the beach and because it's Miami, they don't play around. It's illegal for you to even carry a backpack with beverages and try to sell it. They will shut you down. The city of Miami Beach, they don't play around, right? So the reason why I say that is because there's no food trucks within walking distance. There's none. But that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that there can't be food trucks that may be a 5-minute drive away, right? And that they can have someone on their payroll that can take a electric bike or a scooter that can make the runs back and forth between the beach and whatever parking lot that they're in.
Yeah. And if there's a group of them, they could have couple couriers or something that just sit there and grab from all of them and do the transport back and forth. But yeah, I mean, I think that targeting that group as a, because like if you go into the normal restaurant scene, you're definitely going to be competing with the big boys for the most part, in terms of trying to vie for their attention to give them another delivery service on top of all the other ones that they have to support, right? And I know it goes to the beach, which is the differentiator, but I mean, still, they've got to go and deal with another one of these things.
Yeah,
But
but
a food truck, like what options do they have? Are they being marketed or
but these restaurants that are on Ocean Drive, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, oh
Why?
yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't you open up? And it's not like I'm giving them yet another tablet, and they have like 4 tablets that they already monitor or maintain.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm talking about foot in the door kind of thing. How do you establish a foothold? But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Looks like Roman's back. So maybe Roman knows.
Hey, Roman. So I think today I'll I'll figure out on Microsoft documentation how to upload my Azure functions so that they're now running in the cloud. I feel so weird saying the cloud, right? But instead of my endpoints referencing local hosts, hopefully, I mean, I could start freeing up resources on my computer, which means I'd also have to write some infrastructure for environments, right? So now when I'm bootstrapping customer app and mobile app, I need to pass in an environment, I don't know, token, whatever you want to call it. And then it's going to know which endpoints to point to. And I also need to make sure that on these mobile apps that it's obvious what environment I'm looking at in debug mode, so that I don't know. For some reason I'm terrified that I'm going to have some endpoints that are local and other endpoints that are running in QA, and I'm not aware of it. And I'll spend all my time pulling out the rest of my hair trying to figure out why things don't work and why things are inconsistent. So like I'm not translated. I want to build some tooling or some infrastructure so that it's very easy to know what environment all of my endpoints are pointing to. So
Yeah.
that might take a day to model and write for both the apps, all 3 of the apps. That's it.
Cool.
What do you think?
I think you're gonna be done soon, maybe.
What do you think? Honestly, do you think like at least this is good portfolio and experience, or do you think like there's a decent shot of like traction?
So definitely.
I want brutal honesty.
Yeah,
Like
no,
I'm not a
definitely.
UX designer, so I know my stuff doesn't look like immaculate. I realize that.
I mean, it looks fine. Um, Definitely. I mean, good portfolio experience stuff. So that's not. I don't think that's debatable. I mean, you're using different technologies and you're going through struggles that advance yourself in terms of as a business thing. I think that the bigger problem always is not the technology. It's how you execute on the on the all the other stuff. Yeah, it's the marketing, the relationships that you need to build, the business model that you need to come up with. I mean that you don't have, you can figure that stuff out as you go. Um, there are slim margins, I think, in that delivery industry already. So there's a lot of traffic, and it's a double-sided marketplace, which is a tough thing to get into. Like you have to have, well, it's, you have to have both people willing to sell and people that willing to buy. And if you don't have sellers, nobody's going to use it on the buying side. And if you don't have buyers, no one's going to use it on the selling side. So it's a struggle with any double-sided marketplace to get into it. Which is why, like I said, being beach delivery is one possible key differentiator. Being a food truck delivery might be another one. If nobody's targeting that, it might be an untapped market where,
Mm.
hey, because if you can get sellers there and they're willing to throw up signs because this is the first time they've had delivery and you're the one delivering it, there might be an option there. I don't know though, because you'd have to do some investigation. But
That food truck delivery will probably work for commercial. So people in the industrial park, in a way, they already have that, right? So there'll probably be like scuffles. You know, you know how like at construction sites those food trucks come, but they're not the food trucks that like the Joneses will eat out of. They're the food trucks of like the industrial, like construction workers eat out of. Like,
no, but I could imagine. Yeah.
okay, so there's the food trucks that are for like the neighborhood that have like branding all over it, and like they specialize in Italian or Argentinian. Like they have a theme, right?
Yeah.
But then you have the food trucks that are like kind of industrial, where they just go to construction sites and there is no theme, and they're like the only option if construction workers aren't willing to brown bag.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I get it.
So the reason why I say that was in regards to applying the mobile app to. It sounds like you're saying the food truck is a courier. The food truck comes to whatever, I don't know, customer, and I'm like, okay, so in order for that to make sense, it sounds like that would probably work commercially. So people at the office decide that they want to order from a food truck, and there's a certain quota, right? You have to purchase like, I don't know, $50 worth of whatever. That quota is met, the food truck drives over there and delivers it.
No, 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 that's not what
Okay.
I'm saying. No, I'm saying that it goes through the normal flow of stuff, but there's a unique thing because the food truck is basically a mobile restaurant, right? So you
Yeah.
have to have geolocation on the current position of the food truck, as like a third entity within your geolocation stuff. So you have somebody wanting the food, their location. You have somebody who's going to deliver it, who has to go to some location and bring it to another location. The restaurants, that's a fixed location, but with food trucks, that's variable. So now you have to include the ability for the food truck to issue out where it is so that it can join up into the network, which is maybe like there's a technical challenge there, but there's also a which 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 might be preventing other people from going into that market because if they're already killing it in whatever they might. So I'm just saying there might be an opportunity there
No,
if
so
nobody's servicing that because I know there's people who like they love food trucks, like they're like favorite food trucks, but oh, it only comes on a Wednesday. Well, if it's like 4 blocks away and you're really hankering for something from them, maybe there is a delivery.
so maybe it looks like this. They pull up the app. I log what menus they're looking at, right? Regardless of where the food trucks are, whatever restaurants they're looking at or whatever menus they're looking at, I collect that information. Food trucks have their tenant app. Like these are all tenants. Restaurants are tenant.
Yep.
Food trucks can pull up their app, observe all the different locations that had observed their menu within a certain number of time within a certain time period, right? Today or this hour, whatever. And then they can make the decision based on the various locations of people using the app that viewed their menu, if they want to pick up their truck and move closer to wherever the highest concentration is. Something like that, maybe? Or no?
I think that would be a potential. I mean, that could be a potential feature, right? Once you get enough reporting data. Again, it's a double-sided marketplace. You have to get all this there. I mean, this is what I'm talking about in terms of like, the hard part is probably understanding what business model is going to work and finding a niche that allows you to really get a foothold if you actually want to make this successful. I think if you're competing with Grubhub's, Uber Eats, and stuff like that, you're just going to get drowned. I mean, there might be some way to get in there, but you have to execute better than they do.
Well, how about if I compete with Loci Solutions? So they decided that after they interviewed me that they didn't want to hire me. So maybe I can take their market share because I'm upset that they didn't hire me.
Maybe. I don't know exactly what they do.
E-groceries.
Oh, yeah. So that's like, we have, gosh, what is it called? I don't know,
Like I was really upset that they didn't make me an offer. Like I'm like, dude, I've concentrated like the last 2 years on this space. Like, surely there's something I could compliment you guys with. No, we'll pass. Okay. So now, like, I got them on my hit list.
Yeah, maybe with the grocery delivery thing. I don't know.
So Roman says maybe the food truck runs the app. The app gets the GPS location.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Roman. Is if you're dealing with, I mean that could be like it's an interesting technical thing. Like if you think about it, like you have three actors now, but they're all variable location, not fixed location. Like how do you bring those together? Not only that, but I mean, you might have a direct without even the delivery. You could even get a foothold in it, just being like, we're an app to find food trucks in your area. If you can get food trucks in that, there might be something like that already exists though. But then you could look at, well, how could you maybe partner with something that tracks food trucks to do delivery on top of them? So like, you got to think about this stuff from your business perspective, right? What way could you get into a market and provide some new value that's not there, that will delight people and make. And once you deliver value, that's money. Value.
I don't know anybody that. One is I don't know anybody that says, I want to see what food trucks are out here. Like, do I go to a parking lot once a month pre-COVID in which they have like a dozen food trucks and they have like a clown and some music? Yes. But no, actually, yeah, maybe. So like for people that are on dates, that's like that's a cool thing to do is you take them out to a food truck lot. and you spend some time getting to know that person. So I can understand that. I was going to say, like, I don't, where food trucks are.
You bring up your app and say, I want to find food trucks near me that will not make me burp up food on my date. Oh yeah. No, I just like I'm saying, I don't know what it is. I'm just conjecturing, but I think that following the maybe canvassing food trucks and ask them if there's any problems in that delivery or finding space that maybe you could tap into, because it's all about solving problems, right? Like wouldn't it be great if you go to a food truck and they're like, yeah, we have people ask us all the time if they could get us to come to their location more often, or because they'd eat from us 3 times a week, but we make a little bit more money at this location, and if we could offer delivery, that would be great, So I mean, if you could just find out if there is a problem to solve for them, that it might present an opportunity. If there's no problem to solve there, then then it's, I don't know. Food delivery has gotten into the commodity space where you're fighting from the same business model with a few players, and they're all trying to compete based on how pricing or how the app works,
and they'll eventually acquire the other, just to put them out of business.
Yeah, but like I said, if you could open up a new market or solve a problem that's not being solved currently, because it's just maybe the revenue stream is too small for a big Grubhub, whatever, versus the work. But for you, with a small team or something like that, it might be, you might be able to get started there and then build out to be a competitor with these bigger companies. So anyways, I might drop off here so I can say goodbye to my daughter before she goes to school quick, because I'll be ice fishing all weekend, so I won't see her.
All right, well, I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, you got some cool tech to show, man. So
yeah. Roma says, yes, agree with Sean. The hard part is getting enough people and business on board to make it work, to start getting momentum, especially if there's no $1 million marketing money. All right. So, all right, Sean, well, it's been real. Thanks. Yep. Finish your table.
Yeah, one day. All right. See ya.
Roman, you still there? You still there, Roman? I don't know if you're at work or not, but that's the invite if you want to chat. Else I'll probably cut out in maybe 1 minute. No, seriously though, I'm taking the L in the stock market. You say chat delay. Oh, you are there. I didn't think you were going to actually like join.
No, I can end the broadcast. I don't know.
Yeah. How's everything going?
We are normal. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing special. It's still more or less lockdown season as always here. So
I keep forgetting where you're at. Hold on. You are
Switzerland.
What's that?
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
I thought Switzerland did a pretty good job controlling.
Yeah, it's mixed. Like at the beginning, like at the first wave, they did a pretty good job, and then in autumn they completely like dropped the ball for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's kind of a, well, I don't know, compared maybe to many European countries, it's still not as harsh lockdown. Like some countries had very harsh ones. But yeah, it's more or less in a lockdown and starting to opening up, I think next month, slowly.
Ooh, I don't know anything about Switzerland except for like chocolate or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like that's the stereotype: chocolate and banking or something.
Do other countries? Do people from other countries just go there and like what's the social like dynamics of Switzerland compared to like the Germans or the English? Do people like come in there to like vacation, act like they run stuff, trash the place, and then leave? Like what? Like
No,
is it a
I mean, a
sibling of the
bit,
other countries, or is it like how do they treat it socially?
I mean, it's a bit in Europe. It's a like high price area, so I'm
Okay.
not sure if you're going to here to trash things. It's like too pricey. Yeah, it's like I don't know. There is a lot of tourism in some areas, but as I said, it's I don't know. You have to have some wealth to come to Switzerland. I think if you're a student, it's too pricey usually. So I guess that keeps away a lot of young people just going to drink and trash things.
Why is it so expensive? What's the main? I don't know how to spell it. What's their money generator? Is it oil?
Ooh, I don't know overall. It's like specialized industry and banking, I would say.
I'm looking it up right now.
There's like big companies are usually the insurance and banking, and then there's a lot of like specialized small companies. I think that's the majority.
So are you guys comparable to like Vatican City when it comes to like expensive?
We're certainly one of the most expensive place in Europe, especially yeah.
Well, that'll keep a lot of homeless people away, right? Or does it generate homeless people?
I don't think so. Yeah, no, yeah, and especially it was pricey before, and then the euro crashed. I don't know how many years ago, and now it's even more pricey because yeah,
No.
it's like a kind of ridiculous. Like I'm not sure it's still true, but like the Swiss government, so they have like if they want to borrow money, they have negative interest. So like because kind of Switzerland is the currency is kind of a I don't know if there's doubt in economies, people try to buy the Swiss currency, so they kind of borrow for negative interest, and the Swiss National Bank tried to lower the currency value like mad. So it was like crazy, and yeah, and since then Switzerland is even pricier than it used to be.
Okay, I'm confused. I thought everybody in Europe, well, I guess not, because I was in London like 4 years ago and they were using the pound.
Yeah, there's a few
When do they use
exceptions.
the euro? Like, what's the purpose of the euro?
I mean, yeah, but the purpose is,
Okay.
you don't have to ask me. I mean, some countries maybe made sense because they're very interconnected. Other countries made a bit less sense.
I mean, but how's that work? Like, you can spend a euro in any of the countries, right? Like, you could go buy coffee with the euro,
In
regardless.
most, I mean, the most of West Europe, except a few exceptions, are on the euro. I think, Britain is of course an exception. I think Denmark or Sweden. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I feel you have to
And
have
a
a cash
few,
register.
and Switzerland. Yeah, that's kind of the exceptions. Maybe I missed some other country. So
Yeah.
so yeah, Switzerland never joined the euro, and I think they will. They will not. No.
I'm surprised you have time to. I mean, I assume like you just listen to me in the background or whatever, because I thought you had a kid, and like kids are very demanding, right? They
Yeah,
want
yeah.
all.
I have a few free minutes. Usually, I will be either working. I'm kind of working, but I'm waiting for something to complete. So.
Yeah. So, well, hey, thanks for hopping on. And I just want to get this project done. Like, I don't know if have you worked on anything outside of work for like a really long time? Like for me, this is 2 years.
Not this long. No, I try to keep the things outside of work small enough. Small enough, or especially now. Now I have to keep it really small, otherwise it's never get done.
Yeah. So, well, it's been real. I hear my kid in the background, so I'm about to tend to him. And yeah, thanks for chatting. Thanks for commenting and providing me your insights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I have no deep insights.
No, it's good stuff. You said marketing and selling needs a huge effort to create credit. Yeah, because I was saying like once people consistently on the beach see food getting delivered, that's its own marketing right there. It's just there has to be enough orders going on in order for that to finally be the snowball effect.
Yeah, it's like the old classic. Like if you download the app, like from the food truck side or whoever delivers, like from the restaurant or food truck side, it's like, there's no one on this app, so why should I bother to join or add my menu? And from the other side, if no one adds their menu, then why should I come to your app? There's nothing to order yet. So
yeah, well, I'm going to add menus even if they don't add it. And then my plan was early on to just hire a virtual assistant to like manually enter through the website the order until I'm able to get the APIs from these actual like restaurants to programmatically place the order. Like I'm trying to, if there's a will, there's a way. I'm trying to be as resourceful as possible to just get this thing rolling. And if it fails, then finally it fails. But at least I finally got it to fail. Like I just want to get this in production and do my part. And then if it's stupid and people don't understand it, then I finally did it and now I know. So
yeah.
All right, Roman. Well, I'm taking off. Thanks again for hopping on with me. So
Bye.
see ya. All right, bye. End broadcast.